Welcome back, and happy holidays, sis.
Yes.
This is episode 50 of the Love and Light podcast.
Big
I am
5-0.
Big 5-0. Big 5-0. That's a big one. That's an epic for us. I'm Willie Lightfoot.
And I am Lovely Warren.
And we are here. Our title and topic today is Legacy Lessons and Liftoff into 2026. We want to thank first and foremost, when we look back over this journey, which started February 11th of 2023.
Wow.
Our first episode was you're going to be carrying my stuff.
which was come a long way.
Which was our first episode. It's been almost 3 years. Episode 50.
Right, but that was 30 years ago, right? Or 20 years ago.
About almost close to 20 years ago. Right. That was close to 20 years ago when we met at that convention, which again, when we talked about in that show, that convention was at the War Memorial, just to tell people how big the Democratic Party was locally at that time. But yeah, now we've evolved. We're on show number 50.
Yes.
Our love lifting segment. We want to take time to thank all of our listeners.
Yes.
Our viewers. I was thinking the other day, you know how every different shows have, the beehive, like Beyonce called her people beehives. And I said, well, our lovelies and our lighters out there. For our lovelies and our lighters out there. Lovelies obviously are the ladies, and our lighters, the men that keeping things lit. We thank you for watching us. We thank you for tuning in with us week after week, month after month. And in this conversation today, we're gonna try to address three different questions that we're gonna ask. We're gonna ask, it's the holidays. We say happy holidays to everybody. We hope everyone has had a wonderful Thanksgiving, wonderful Christmas, and obviously a blessed New Year. But we're gonna ask these questions, and we're gonna ask our people, our listeners, and our viewers out there. We want to hear from you concerning these three questions that we're going to ask ourselves. We're each going to answer, but we want you to also answer it. And you can call into the front line at 585-678-1039, 585-678-1039, or you can give your comments on WDKX Facebook, on the app, or on any of our social media platforms that you see us on, even on YouTube. So we want to hear from you. To recap from our last show, it's been a while, but the Fear Factor show, beware of the scams, I think I got a lot of feedback from that.
Yeah, because a lot of people get these calls. They, especially senior citizens, have been victims of this type of abuse. So it was definitely right on time. Especially with the holidays that were approaching.
It was.
And so we're just thankful that we were able to deliver some information for our listeners and let them know what they needed to do if they felt like they were being scammed, or if they had been scammed, and who to call.
Yes. And so I'm going to do a recap so people we did 17 shows this year, 17 shows. And just some of those topics were 17 shows. A new year, not another year. And I'm going to say that was one of that one. We come back to that. The inauguration, the rollback of the DEI, fight the power with politics, with boycotts and the things that were happening with Trump, courage and sportsmanship in daily life, local election process, toxic people and how to deal with them.
Oh, that was big. Actually, that was one of my favorites.
Okay, we're going to come back to that. Sanctuary cities, federal tensions, pros and cons, police accountability.
Yep.
Healing divide, coping with estranged family members and friends.
Yes.
Current federal budget cuts and SNAP, which was dealing with SNAP, etc. Child support. When local government takes national stage. Missing young girls. Where are our missing girls?
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah.
The dysfunction in Washington and its impact locally. The new American dream and what success looks like in 2025.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, we just talked about Fear Factor and beware of scams. So I'm going to ask you first.
When you think about that, wow. It's been a journey, right?
Yes.
3 years.
3 years.
Definitely want to thank WDKX.
We're powered by WDKX 103.9, the best radio and interactive station in the world.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, our producer and
DJ Sight. We love him. God bless him.
3 years in running.
Yes.
Want to thank Dre for his leadership, his commitment to the community.
Right. Definitely.
And of course, my co-host, who, retiring from public service.
Yes.
Well, a form of public service this year.
Right.
And so stepping into a new phase, a new chapter, and we'll get into that as well. But as you look back over the last year, I think that the years, but just over the last year, and answering the question of what was my favorite show. I think that, and I got a lot of feedback from toxic people. That's
in my top 3. It's in my top.
That was one of the, something that hit close to home with a lot of people, and making choices about getting toxic people out of your life, ending toxic relationships, recognizing toxic relationships and things like that, and given, things that have happened here locally and all over the country, especially this holiday season.
Yes.
We just have to take a pause for a moment and remember our loved ones that we've lost along the way.
Yes.
And just think about how good God has been to us.
And I would say, since we're acknowledging that and we're looking at that, and I agree with you, that was in my top 3 as well, dealing with toxic people, acknowledging. I want to say big up locally here. We had several police officers that got shot. We're praying for those officers. We know that they're recovering, is our understanding, as well as the victim, another victim that was there on that scene. It was a domestic violence type situation. And we kind of talked about that in that whole toxic people type of situation and how it could lead to those types of things. So as we pause and reflect on those that have been lost. I mean, I know I had 20 wakes and funerals this year myself, that I either went to, attended, or were a part of through the church. And so we acknowledge that, and we acknowledge those officers, and we're praying, of course, for them and their families.
And the victim, and for the families that have been affected by this. The young lady who who was the victim of domestic violence.
Yes. Absolutely.
Getting out is so hard. Walking away, ending toxic relationships is so hard. And so many, as we talked about in that episode, so many of our young people are facing these toxic relationships and, volatile. You see the number of, volatile things. My daughter was showing me on TikTok, I think it was on TikTok or Facebook, a young lady who, was telling a young man like, hey, I'm pregnant, but I'm gonna have, I made a decision, I'm not gonna have the baby. And, he's arguing with her. And then, you're not gonna do this, you're not gonna do that. And she's like, no, I'm going to do that. And like, they're filming this, like people are around, they're filming this. And he literally lifts her off the ground and start to choke her. And it's just like, and you want her to bring a child into this, this is what you're, so I just really want people to, and I say all that, and I'll bring us back to that point of toxic relationships, because especially at holiday times when people are not getting the gifts that they want, they may not have the money they to do the things that they want to do. Love conquers all things, and let's be thankful for what little we do have.
Episode 50, Love and Light Podcast, powered by 103.9 WDKX, legacies, lessons, and liftoff into 2026. We want to hear from our listeners, our viewers, 585-678-1039. Tell us your favorite show of 2025, what shows you may want to see in 2026. My favorite show, and it's because it was like the first one, and I think it really set the tone for me, and for us going forward, was A New Year and Not Another Year. And that leads me into question number 2 that we're asking not only each other, but we're asking our listeners and viewers too, the most proudest moment of 2025. And for me, it was making the decision to not run for re-election, because what it did is it made me focus on me, made me focus on my children. And as a result of that, we were talking off air before we started, this year, my youngest son proposed and he's getting married next year. My youngest daughter, we passed the torch to her on Christmas for her taking over Christmas dinner, which is a major milestone and a rite of passage in our culture, which was great. So I had the time to be present with that this year. And I am not saying that one thing made the other thing happen, but I really believe it had an impact on me spending more time with myself and my family, and them seeing the moves that I was making. And that was a major move for me after 20 years, that I think it made them do some things that was made for major for them in their life. So that was my most proudest moment of being able to just say it's time to move on. And I think that could be very difficult for a lot of people.
Listen, letting go and moving on to the next is very, very hard. And I think that I agree with you, because this year I got a lot of time to spend with my daughter, Taylor.
Wonderful.
And really, supporting her in her journey with lacrosse, making it to almost every game.
You always gone. I mean, you and your husband, y'all be gone, man. I said, that's what's up.
Taking her to her, this travel lacrosse is not.
We've been friends a long time.
Yeah.
And so I know how busy you were, and I know how busy the job and the things that you were involved in kept you, and how much you weren't able to really enjoy life. And I see you doing that now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. But this year that's really what the focus was. And like you, it put some things in perspective and was like, what really matters the most.
That's right. That's right.
At the end of the day, God gave us some beautiful children.
Yes, he did.
And he said, take care of them.
That's right.
And
that's
so, I commend you for passing the torch on, for giving your children the foundation that they needed to take it on.
Likewise.
And hopefully, prayerfully, the same thing for Taylor, because we have, I tell you, in November, December, we were in 3 different states. Every weekend we were going somewhere, with lacrosse and things like that. So, but being able to be there to support her along that journey, for me is my proudest moment of 2020.
That's nice. Well, I'm gonna tell you again, we want to hear from our listeners, our viewers. 585-678-1039, episode 50, Love and Light podcast, legacy, lessons, and liftoff. Now let's talk about a little bit about lessons, improvements for 2026, because none of us are perfect. We can always improve. I know people don't want to hear that sometimes. They think that I know y'all out there, y'all viewers are perfect and y'all got it all together. But the lessons of things that we want to improve for the new year, honest reflections on challenges and growths, practical steps that not only can we take, but that we may be able even to encourage our viewers to take, and our listeners, and consider these lessons and goals. And for me, I really, really, really want, because I've been to 20 wakes and or funerals this year, it really made me understand these weren't just older people. These was young, various different, all walks of life. And it made me, like you just got done saying, it made me really understand what's really important. Health is wealth. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, what I want to do better of is better taking care of myself, wellness, self-wellness, because you can't help, let's say, when the plane is going down, put your mask on first, right? You can't help nobody until you help yourself. And so I want to always do a better job with making sure that I'm taking better care of myself so that I can be better present, not only for the community, but more importantly for my family and my friends and the people that I love.
Absolutely. I think that it's imperative that we recognize that a lot of change is happening, right? A lot of things are getting different, and taking care of ourselves and being here for our families and our friends is paramount. I think that when I think about lessons or what I want to be able to do in the future, it of course is take care of myself, get healthier, but I also want to be able to support others a little bit more, right?
Yes.
You know, to be present in, you know, other people's lives and to check on people, right?
Sure.
You never know how many people that you have a relationship with are struggling just to get by, not struggling financially. That's not what I'm talking about.
Psychologically, mentally,
I'm talking about
spiritually,
spiritually, psychologically,
emotionally.
You call them, and you know, just out of the blue, you know, I have, and in the last, you know, couple weeks have really, because of the number of people we've lost along in the last couple of years, you know, reach out. Somebody come across your mind. Like I had a friend that I hadn't talked to in maybe 2.5, 3 years. You know, really since my mom died, that I went to, that I did an internship with in Albany with, and you know, just, you know, thought of her, she came across my mind and just reached out, you know, hey, how you doing? You know, and she's like, you know what? Thank you for calling me.
Right.
You know, I wasn't feeling my best, you know, this holiday season, and, you know, to hear you, you know, on my voicemail really, really meant a lot to me. So I would just encourage people, you know, to those long lost friends that you haven't spoken to, or even those that you haven't seen in a while, reach out to them.
Yes.
Hey, I just wanted to check on you and see how you were doing. Nothing else.
Yeah, just a kind gesture of saying hello, how are you? Thinking about you goes a long way for a lot of people. Oftentimes with the things that are going on in the world, and we've talked about this in many of our podcasts in the past. Like you said, we really don't know where people are in their lives, and we just, especially with the, you know, after the pandemic, with social media now, people not really call and talk to each other no more, and we're so isolated as individuals through the social media world. But just a simple thing as a text message can go a long way. A simple thing as a phone call absolutely goes a long way. So I would agree with you on that. We gotta in this journey, we gotta make sure that not only are we taking care of ourselves and self-care, but we're working to take care of other people, help other people, encourage other people, inspire other people, because that's important to stay connected. And that support services, because everybody don't, you know, especially this time of year, like you said, families come together. Everybody don't have a family. Or large families, or don't come together, or have had loss during this time, and they get triggered during these time of year based on the losses that they have.
And it's easier to stay home. Absolutely. It's easier to you know, go into recluse and just stay home and just, you know, not be around. It's hard for some people to get up, to get going, to take that shower, to come out. But if you can encourage them, they have a good time. They'll have a good time. They'll be excited. And, you know, it's just amazing that, you know, you can just do a very, very little to make somebody really, really happy. And it's not about gifts.
That's right.
Not about money.
That's right.
It's not about any of that. It's about
love.
Thank you for thinking about me.
And that comes from a place of love. You have to come from a place of giving and love, because those things all pass away, but that love is something that people will feel forever, you know. And so you want to continue to make sure that people feel that, because a lot of people don't feel love. They don't feel like people care. And you have to let people know that we do care. Episode 50 of the Love and Light podcast, powered by 103.9 WDKX. We want to hear from our viewers, our listeners. We thank y'all for listening for 2025. We're praying for a wonderful 2026, a year of clarity, a year of courage, of compassion, and a year where we just see God's blessings over our lives and your lives. And we're praying again with legacy lessons and lifting off into 2026
Yes.
that your best is yet to come. And let me tell you, continue to let your light shine. You can't put a lampshade on the sun. Just keep shining and be encouraged. God bless you.
And dance like nobody's watching. Sing like there's no one listening. Live like it's heaven on earth. And love like you've never been heard. This is the Love and Light Podcast, episode number 50, powered by 103.9 WDKX.